Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, y'all. In today's video, I want to do a breakdown Teofimo Lopez versus Shakur Stevenson. And how do I feel like this fight is going to happen? I'm not going to lie. I feel like this fight right here is going to be both men's toughest fight right now within their career, just due to the fact that Shakur is undefeated and Tio, he's not undefeated, but practically is undefeated, in my personal opinion. I mean, yeah, you can look at records and all that, but I'm just going to say they're both undefeated. That's what I'm going to say for right now. They're both practically undefeatable. You know, both styles go very good against each other because we've seen what Shakur can do. Shakur fights off the back foot, the front foot, and same thing with Teofimo Lopez. But Teofimo, he's very slippery. Very, like, you know, when it comes to his defense, I'm gonna say when I say what I mean by slippery, I'm talking about his head movement and his feet being able to angle and pivoting and just moving out the way. And that's why I feel like this is going to be a really good fight because, like what even Shakur said himself, that whoever you're fighting is what they're going to be able to bring out of you. And that's why I feel like we're going to see a really good fight. This is not going to be boring, as a lot of y'all casual fans like to say. Just because you don't see these fighters get knockouts don't mean that's how the sport's supposed to go. This is not UFC. This is not MMA. And even then, in MMA, you don't see knockouts every single time. But I see and I notice the casuals from MMA fans, they go into boxing and they see boxing and they're like, oh, boxing is boring. Boxing is boring. Half the time, majority of them, the people who do be saying stuff like that, that's because they've never boxed before. They've never even participated in a combat sport in their life. That's the reason why they say stuff like that. But anyways, outside of that, let's get back to talking about the fight. Now, with this fight, I feel like, I don't know. It's really hard to say. I'm going to give this fight a 50-50. I'm going to give it 50-50. The reason I'm giving this fight 50-50, just because of the fact that this is the first time Shakur is moving up in weight. But as far as what I've seen and how his build is, I don't think he's going to have a struggle going up weight classes to get more belts. And I feel like Shakur can win this fight. I'm not going to lie to y'all. I got Shakur for this fight. And I know some of y'all going to be like, it's because you're a black boxer and you only support black boxers. No, this ain't got nothing to do with race. And another thing too that I really hate when people try to say under my comments, they'll be like, oh, he only supports the fighters that are people of color. No, it ain't got nothing to do with that. I'm basing my picks off of skills, abilities, and what we have seen from fighters and who are they working with. For an example, Shakur is working with Terrence Bud Crawford. Now, obviously, just because he's working with Bud doesn't mean that he's going to just be able to win the fight. But y'all got to think. Y'all don't think that they don't have all this knowledge on Teofimo? Now, obviously, same thing with both camps. They definitely both have knowledge on each other. But I'm just telling y'all, just letting y'all know. Like, y'all don't think that Shakur and his team have not been working on a game plan and vice versa on both. But I feel like with Shakur's team, he has people that are a little bit more, I'll say they're probably maybe about the same level of experience. I'm gonna hold my tongue on that because I actually don't really know their coaches like that, so I won't say anything on that. I'll actually take that back. Only person I'll talk about is just Bud because that's the only person that we've seen that he's being trained by that we know is really, really good, a real good boxer. But yeah, I want to speak about their strengths. I want to talk about Teofimo's strengths. I've already talked about it. Started talking about with his defense, his footwork. I feel like that's going to be what he could use to beat against Shakur by trying to back Shakur up to the ropes and possibly maybe trying to knock him out. And even him, he said the same thing. He feels like Shakur is quote unquote scared to get knocked out. Now with that, I'm not going to get into that. I'm not here to talk about what fighters have to say. I'm here to speak about their game plans and whose strategy could win against who. Now, back to with Teofimo. Yes, he has the footwork. He has just everything in general when it comes to that part within his boxing. He's really good. But like I said with Shakur, I'm going to look at his strengths. With Shakur, he has really good defense. He could fight off the front foot, fight off the back foot, just like Teofimo can. And the reason why I feel like he's going to be able to give Teofimo Lopez some problems is because he's not going to be engaging within Teofimo on the front foot. I already can see that. But really, both of them, for real. Really, I'm going to take that back. I feel like Teofimo, he's going to do a mixture of both. I'll say that. I feel like he's going to try to fight more off the front foot. I feel like he's going to be the aggressor. while Shakur is going to try to counter a lot more. But like I said, at the end of the day, who knows? Anything can happen. At the same time, even though Shakur may try to fight off the back foot, I could still see him trying to go out there and put some pressure on Teofimo Lopez. Like both of them maybe actually going out there and just letting their hands go. I'm not going to lie. And if that does happen, that'll make the fight really, really good, in my personal opinion. But outside of that, kind of speak on, I would say, what their weaknesses are. I would say for Shakur, I'm going to start off with him first, since I start off with Teofimo, his strengths. For Shakur, sometimes he gets on the ropes too much. I'm not going to lie. And I feel like the reason why he does those is because of his defense. He has really good defense, impeccable defense. But against the guys that he has fought, a lot of them, I'm not saying don't have no punching power or nothing like that, but he's fought at smaller weight classes. And now since he's moving up to 140, I'm not saying Teofimo is going to just have the power to just put him out right then and there. Obviously not. We know he's going to have a chin on him because he's never been knocked out before. So I just don't want to see him fighting off the ropes. I want to see him like actually move around and try to be more like Floyd, I would say. I want to kind of see that more out of him. Or like Terrence Crawford for surely. But at the end of the day, he does switch stances. So we're not going to see that being able to happen. Now for Teofimo, I would say for him, his biggest weakness is sometimes he gets overconfident. He gets overconfident, and we've seen him get caught with shots before that have put him down. And my thing is, the reason why I really got Shakur for this fight, I want you to look at it like this. Teofimo fought not Lomachenko. I'm trying to remember that dude's name. I believe his name is Lomas or something like that. The guy who fought Hitchens. I know y'all know who Hitchens is. He's trained with Shakur before. I think his name is Rich. Yeah, Richard, my bad. Richard, the Haitian boxer that lives in New York. We've seen what he did to Kambosos. That's what I meant to say. Teofimo fought Kambosos, and we've seen how that fight went. If Kambosos was giving Teofimo that tough of a fight, now obviously we shouldn't base fights that we've seen in the past off of other fighters, because styles make fights at the end of the day, and size really doesn't matter when it comes down to this, because they're both pretty big. I would say they're almost about the same size. Shakur's a little bit taller. He's like 5'9". Teo's like 5'8". But if you look at that fight, how that fight went, how Richard did Kambosos, what makes y'all think Shakur... No, I'm going to say this. What makes y'all think Teo is going to absolutely dog walk Shakur? You know, that's a point right there. That's a really good point. And am I going to try to use that fight to say, oh, that should be the reason why Shakur is going to be able to win? No. But look at previous fighters who have fought Teo, and those previous fighters who have fought Shakur's teammates or people that he used to train with. And now try to say, oh, Teo's going to get this fight easily. No, this is going to be a war. This is not going to be an easy fight for both of them, matter of fact, for both. And here is really going to prove who is really the best at 140, if you want to say that. One thing I will say, I don't know if this fight is going to be for like all the undisputed belts. I really have no idea, because I really don't even know what belts Teo even has. But if this fight is for the undisputed for 140, then this fight is going to really skyrocket Shakur. I would say Shakur has more to lose than Teo. Teo, just due to the fact that he's moving up in weight, he's fighting for more belts, he's fighting for legacy now, and he doesn't want to fight at 135 no more, because everybody at 135, they're not really trying to fight him for real. I mean, Tank, we know what Tank got going on right now, so I'm not even going to mention his whole situation. Even Haney, too, moved up. Ryan Garcia moved up to 140, and that's the reason why he's moving up, because his peers are moving up in weight. And I still feel like if he beats Teo, maybe there is a possibility that he could fight Devin next. I'm not going to lie. I want to see that fight next, because Devin did really good during his fight. If Shakur does really good, we see that fight next. It just makes sense, honestly, because they've been both calling each other out for the longest. And to be honest, I thought these niggas was going to fight back at 135. And the fact that they didn't, it does kind of piss me off. But it is what it is. They both moved up in weight, thank God. So now we're going to actually get the chance to be able to see some of these mega fights. Outside of that, I mean, boxing's been pretty good. These men have been doing really good for themselves, and they definitely have a really big future within boxing. Y'all let me know if y'all enjoyed this video. Like, comment, subscribe, share with your family. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.